Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email sent to me from a subscriber who talks about how his really conservative and religious parents are now pressuring him to get married. The guy, he's 25 years old, he's done school, I think he probably got a master's, he's a mechanical engineer, working for a great company, makes good money, things are going well for him. He says he's looking to buy a house pretty soon, and now his parents, they're ready for the next chapter of their lives to obviously become grandparents. So he says that every chance they get, they're talking about him getting married. And they simply do not understand the fact that he doesn't want to get married. Because this guy is obviously, he's learned very well about female nature. He's learned very well about how marriage just doesn't work these days. The high divorce rates, because he's got a couple cousins that are getting divorced and getting just hammered in that through the divorce. And all these things, he's just not interested. And the reason I chose this, guys, is that for a lot of you younger guys, definitely guys that are in your 20s, in some cases your 30s, this is something that's going to become more and more common. As you guys are waking up to the fact of how, not how things you want to be, but how things are with regards to marriage, and how basically the deck is stacked against us guys. The laws do not help us in that situation. Guy could do everything right, be a good husband, loyal, all that. And like that, thanks to no-fault divorces, woman can file a divorce. Everything the guys work so hard for can be taken away. She gets the kids, the house, a big alimony check, maybe his pension in the future, the dog, the cat, all that. And he did nothing wrong. And no guy wants to do that. Plus, all the other aspects of marriage where basically the second that ring goes on her finger, she's going to change. The same fun and romance you had beforehand, that's going to go away. And guys don't want to deal with that. Guys want to be on their own, not have to worry about their money being taken away or losing the stuff they work so hard for. Guys want to have the freedom to come and go as they please. They want to buy a certain car, they buy that car. They want to go someplace on vacation, they go on vacation. There's no discussions, there's no negotiating, there's no arguments. Guys want to do what they want to do. And also a lot of guys want to be free to date and hook up with whatever women they want. Okay? So the world's changing. And, they talk about red pill. That's really becoming more and more mainstream as time's going on. Lots of channels talking about it. And this guy, he'll talk about he's had this knowledge for a few years now. And it's really helped him both with getting women and other areas of his life. So, and once you get that, guys, you don't change. You see the world completely different, and it ain't going to go away. So I'm going to go over this now because I know a lot of you guys, if you're not going through the situation with your families right now, them pressuring you to get married, I promise you it's going to happen someday. So he starts off saying, "Hello, SSM. I've been following your channel since you're at 5,000 subscribers and look forward to your daily dose of red pill videos every day." Well, bro, thank you very much for following me. I appreciate that. Thank all you guys for following me for a long time as well. I'm a 25-year-old mechanical engineer and started working at a great company last year. I'm planning on buying my house very soon, but ever since I graduated, there hasn't been a day that my parents, and he says his dad's 70, mom is 65, haven't brought up the topic of marriage. Yeah, you're now done school, you got a good job, making good money, about to buy a house. So in their mind, hey, just the natural order of things, now you got to find a wife and get kids. And more importantly, they get to be grandparents. Because you said your mom is 65 and your dad's 70. So trust me, it's on their mind. Because probably all their friends have grandchildren, or their grandchildren are on the way. They're ready for that next stage in their life. Okay? Now I'm going to keep it real. I have never been the relationship type. I played football in high school and been in great shape ever since. So I have had my fair share of women for the past 10 years. I took the red pill about 3 years ago, which made it even more easy for me to get laid and better understand female nature, and I've never looked back ever since. Bro, you will never look back. And for you guys that are starting to learn these things, you'll never see the world different either, okay? It is truly like the Matrix, where, he was presented with the blue pill and the red pill. And once you take that red pill, there ain't no going back. You see everything different, and it's the absolute truth. I was about 35, 36 years old that I truly started seeing things as they are. And they didn't talk about red pill, blue pill, back 8 years ago. Maybe they did, but I didn't hear it back then. It's only been the last 3 or 4 years I've been hearing about it more, and it's becoming more and more common every day. And yeah, you're not going to see things differently. And by the way, yes, I'm sure having that knowledge most certainly helped you get laid more. That's no problem there. He goes on, the problem is that my parents, who are West Asian descent, happen to be extremely religious and conservative. Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of fun because obviously very religious, conservative people, family's a big thing, and nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong, but they now want to have you get married and have kids because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And I'm being sarcastic there. That's what society says everybody's supposed to do, the natural progression of things. But guess what? More and more people don't want to get married. And it isn't just guys. It's also a lot of women don't want to get married. I know some. I got a friend right now. She's in her early 30s, and she lives in LA. She's from North Dakota. And every single time she goes home, her mom is on her like that about getting married and having kids because mom wants to be a grandma. She has no interest. Maybe that'll change in the years to come, but I don't think it will. And she's cool. She's one of the few girls I know that are definitely cool, and she's not interested. It's not for her. So he goes on to say, to them, the idea of their only son never wanting to get married and never wanting any kids is baffling. What's funny is that 2 of my cousins who are older than me are going through divorces and getting divorce graped, I'm speaking in code here, at the moment, but for whatever reason, they think the odds of that happening to me are unlikely. Well, that's very nice your parents think so highly of you that it would never happen to you, but realistically, statistically, divorce rate is over 60%. And I find that low, but exactly, even then, the odds are against you. I remember I've been to 3 weddings in the last few years. And I sit there in the pew of the church watching these 2 get married, and I'm looking, respectful, but in my mind I'm thinking, my God, statistically, you're going to get divorced, and she's going to screw this guy over, It's really unfortunate, but that's just, I hate going to weddings, to be honest with you guys, because I think, obviously, my opinion on marriage. I like wedding receptions where you can hang out with your buddies and have some drinks and a good time, but even that, I hate weddings because I know it's all bullshit, and the odds are it's not going to work out. And even if it does work out, the odds are that both of them, not just guys, are going to be unhappy. It seems, in my mind, in my opinion, doesn't have much of a place anymore in the modern world, given how things are. And again, people are living older, so you may have a lot in common in the beginning and have a good time, but eventually your values are going to change, your interests are going to change, just lots and lots of things, and you run out of things to talk about, and let alone people letting themselves go, no longer looking as physically attractive as they once did because they let themselves go, and of course all the other bullshit that goes along with it. It's no point. It's one thing back in the day when people lived to be in their 50s or so, and it wasn't too far in human history that happened. So you got married, you had kids, you lived a while, then you died. But it's a different ballgame now. People are living to be 90, 100 years old. Totally different situation now. But try explaining this to conservative parents that dream of being grandparents because that's their purpose now. Good luck. And with regards to this guy's parents saying that, the cousins are going through a hard divorce and all that, they're not gonna focus on that because they are focused on what they want. Their dream of you getting, the guy who wrote me this email, getting married and having kids and then being grandparents. Because understand this, guys, I talk about purpose all the time, going for your purpose, your goals, your ambitions and all that. For most people in life, their purpose is family, okay? So when you're a kid, you're growing up, you're going to school, that's your purpose. Getting educated, all that. And then eventually their purpose becomes obviously getting married and having a family. And then you're married, and the general purpose for most people are raising their kids, now their parents, and raising those kids to adulthood and doing their job. And then those kids move out of the house, and then those kids get married, and then the parents' next phase in life, that their next purpose are being grandparents. And I'm not judging, okay? For a lot of people, that brings them happiness. Cool. if they're, and I'm going old school here in terms of like when I say bring them happiness, we're going back old school when some marriages actually were happy, the marriages of our grandparents, but they didn't live as old back then. So their purpose was growing up, education, growing up. Then their purpose became their family, raising kids, and then their next purpose became being grandparents. So we're gonna have all these people that have raised kids and they're ready for the next stage in their life, their next purpose, being grandparents. And all of a sudden, as you can see here, all these young guys are saying, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids because I know what's going to lead to. Plus, I see how unhappy so many people are that have made this choice. So fuck it, I don't want to do this. So you're going to have a whole lot of very disappointed parents out there that are dreaming to be grandparents, but the kids don't want to do it because they know what's going to happen. Or they may get to be grandparents, but the guys, they're not getting married. You know, they may have a relationship with a woman, but they're not getting married. They'll have kids with her, but So it's going to be very interesting. That's why I'm doing this, guys, this video in particular, because this young guy, this situation he's in, a lot of you guys are going to fall into the situation, mark my words. Anyhow, it goes on. His email finishes up saying, I don't even bother telling them about the red pill philosophy or the MG Tao movement, as I know they would never pay attention to any of it. To them, the world is still in the 1960s, and virtuous women are a dime a dozen. Keep up the great work. We'll always be looking forward to your videos. Any advice will help. Well, I've gone through the email and I've said what I had to say, but here's the thing, and this is very important, guys, so definitely pay attention here. You have to do what is best for you in life, okay? So many people in life, they do things to make other people happy, okay? You know, statistically I've heard that 60% of the people in this world are sheep. They're going to go along with whatever the herd does. So if the herd goes and gets married and has kids and has a house with a white picket fence, that's what they're going to do because they've been conditioned to do that and they have the herd mentality. But how many of those people are actually happy going along with the herd, doing what everybody else does or doing what other people say they're supposed to do? Not a whole lot. And when it comes to the subject of marriage, in this day and age, again, we see the statistics in terms of divorce rates, how many people are unhappy, and so forth, and it doesn't work out in any way, shape, or form in favor of the guys. So, to this guy here, and I'm at anybody else in this situation where you may be pressured by family, you have to do what you want to do. If you don't want to get married, don't get married. Because I'm telling you, I don't have to get into all the details why. You guys have heard this in all the videos, especially you guys that watch me. But life is short. I'm telling you right now, this guy says he's 25. Guess what? It seems like just yesterday, I was 25. Now I'm 42. And guess what? I'm going to wake up tomorrow and boom, be 60. So I'm doing what makes me happy in life. Does that mean that my parents have been happy with my choices? No. You don't think my parents didn't want to have grandchildren? Trust me, they did. Ain't happening. Fortunately for me, my sister gave me a grandchild, so they're happy with that. My dad passed away last May, but my mom's happy with that. So, but even before he passed away, they learned to respect my wishes. End of story. But I had to stand my ground, okay? Because I knew then the life I wanted. So for this guy here, I'd recommend for him is basically sit down with your parents, and very calmly and rationally and being patient, because you got to understand, you love your parents, and you got to understand this is something they're obviously hoping for and dreaming about, and basically explain that this is not for you. If you want to start laying out some details in terms of statistics about divorce rates in this country, if you want to talk about how men have the deck stacked against them in terms of things, if you want to bring up the examples of your cousins, all these facts, bring it up. If you want to go on to say that how just things have changed in society, if you want to blame our devil American Western culture, that's fine too. I'll be my guest on that. And do what you can to make them understand that, and also that is simply not for you. But here's the thing, bro. Your mind may change in time. Okay, you should never say never in this world. Believe me about that. Okay, I've had times when I was younger, I would say I'd never did this or I'll never do this. Well, guess what? I changed my mind. But with this subject, you may find that right now you feel the way you're feeling, and that's cool, and believe me, I get it. But in 10 or 15 years, when you're now 35, 40 years old, maybe 20 years when you're 45 years old, you may at that point realize, you know what, I'm sick and tired of constantly dating other women, or maybe you might actually want to have kids. So your mind may change. And you may be one of these guys that have all this knowledge, but you'll do it anyway because you then want to maybe have kids. Because some guys do. It may take them to their 40s to realize they may want to, but it may happen. So again, never say never, guys. So I would lay these facts out to your parents and anybody else in a situation like that. I'd recommend the same thing. It's not for you, but maybe one day your mind may change, and leave it at that. But say to your parents, hey, I love you, I respect you, but you got to respect my wishes. You can't keep bringing this up every single time we get together or talk on the phone or whatever, because it's making you crazy and it's making you uncomfortable. And if they don't respect your wishes, at that point then you got to be a man and you got to draw a line in the sand and say, Mom and Dad, I've said what I had to say. We keep talking about this. I'm tired of having this conversation. I'm not interested. Please respect my wishes and my decision, or basically we're not going to talk anymore, or you're not going to see much of me anymore. And believe me, they don't want that. So that's that's what I suggest, because like I said, guys, this is going to be more common. As more and more guys are waking up, more and more guys are gaining knowledge of how things are in this day and age, less and less guys are going to get married, and you're going to have a whole lot of disappointed parents out there that are just dying to become grandparents because that's their purpose. So many people, their purpose is their family in life. Most people, to be honest here, don't start businesses. Most people don't shoot for the moon in life to achieve different goals. Most people are just everyday, ordinary people. They go about their lives, they do their job, and their family becomes their purpose. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, because most people it's not in them to start their own companies. It's not in them to just have one success after another. You know, I encourage you guys to do that, what's in your level of comfort and what you want to do to always better yourselves. But not everybody is going to strive to become a CEO of a giant company like Amazon. You're not going to have a whole lot of Jeff Bezos popping up every day, or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. It's not going to happen. But for those of you that have that drive in you, that want to become something, I fully encourage you to do that, because that's your purpose. But again, for most people, their purpose is family. So for this guy and the rest of you guys, always do what's best for you in life, because life is short. And believe me, the last thing you want to do is go do something for other people and spend a lifetime regretting it. And if this guy were to just go ahead and get married, just to make mom and dad happy so they can be grandparents and all that bullshit, believe me, he's going to be very unhappy. And the odds are what typically happens in marriages will happen to him, except then he's going to then have a lot of things he's worked so hard for very likely be taken away if he doesn't make her happy. And good luck in that department. And of course, being responsible for kids that he doesn't want to have right now. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, those of you that have been married, that were pressured into marriage by family, please do write below your experiences in this department and how it didn't end well. Let this guy know. I mean, this guy obviously knows this, but it doesn't hurt to hear some real life stories. Help him out, and also share with other young guys. And also, guys, if you're watching this and you got family that's kind of pressuring you as well, let me know. Write in the comment sections. Other guys here will read it, give you some advice, and help you out. You know, we're all here to help each other out, guys. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.